Hello, I'm Dale from Dale's Gig Reviews and Metallaville Online Magazine, and you are Luke and Chris Appleton.
Hello, yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
I only saw you the other week at KK Steel Mill with Blaze Bayley.
Fantastic. Yeah. No, it was a cracking gig, that. Yeah.
I don't know if you saw my photos. I did a review and put some photos up. I thought they were very good.
Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you for that, Dale. Appreciate it. It was wonderful, wonderful gig to have. And we were very, very happy with the outcome of it.
Yeah, well, in good photos, I made you look quite attractive, so that's always a good thing.
That's always a bonus, isn't it?
Yeah, so whereabouts are you right now then?
We're in my home in North Manchester at the moment.
You're not that far away from me then. I'm in Chesterfield.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Down the road.
Yeah, just over the hills. Right, so you both started rather young, didn't you? How old were you? About 11 when you started on the guitar, Luke, and Chris, I believe you taught him how to play.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I was 11 years old when I picked up the bass for the first time. And that was stemmed from really, I watched my brother grow up in music and learning how to play, passed on a lot from our father. And then, yeah,
Yeah.
between the pair of them, they kind of passed it down to me as well.
I was
Now, how
even
old were you?
younger. I was 9 when I first
9.
started strumming, and then that was like on an old beat up classical guitar, nylon strung guitar, and then started strumming, learning the chords, learning a bit of Bad Company, Gary Moore, Johnny B. Good, the kind of straightforward stuff, and then I heard Highway to Hell for the first time, and I was like, "Ooh, what's this?" So yeah, it was all very young, and back in the '90s, when I was in secondary school and in the depths of high school, I was 100% the only kid in high school with an AC/DC patched denim jacket. In the height of Dr. Dre and the Spice Girls, I definitely stuck out more then than I do now.
Oh, brilliant. I like that. That's fabulous. So, with you being the older brother, what's the age difference?
I'm 6 years older, would you believe?
Right, 6 year older. So, with the age difference, were you like, I'm the lead guitarist, you're playing bass, you've got no choice in it?
Um, yeah.
I don't quite remember it like that. I remember going home one day from one of my first week at high school, and I spoke to my first music teacher at the time, and she was reading out the names on the register, and then because our surname is Appleton, I was right at the top, so she didn't get very far down, and she read, okay, Luke Appleton. Wait, Appleton. She read it out and she looked out for me. And it's like, who's Luke Appleton? I was like, that's me. Are you any relation to Chris Appleton? I was like, yes, I am. It's like, oh, right, brilliant. And at this time, I'd never learned how to play an instrument or anything at this time. I didn't even have any interest in music, but she just automatically asked, oh, are you like a rock god like your brother then as well? And I just went, yes, yes, I am. And so that day I went back and I was like, Chris, can you teach me how to play guitar, please?
Yeah, to save yourself looking like a complete idiot when you went back to school.
Pretty much.
Well, I've never played any instruments. We were taught the recorder at school, which that were about as far as I ever got. But apparently, when I headbang, I'm a left-hand bassist
All
when I do
right.
my guitar. So I never knew. I was strumming away, doing my headbanging, and this woman grabbed me and she goes, "You're a bassist." And I'm like, "No, I'm not." And she says, "Yeah, you are." And she explained that I was left-handed and I'm a bassist. So there you go.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
That's as close I ever got to ever playing an instrument was my air guitar. I'm looking down at my notes because your dad was also is he I'm trying to find what he does. He's yeah, label or manager,
Yeah,
isn't he? And he
overall, we're a
does your
very
tour
family.
manager.
we're a very family orientated bunch, really. So me and Luke, we're the musicians, but as well, we're quite involved with the business end of things as well. You know, between us, we do a lot of the tour managing. And we take care of a lot of Luke does a lot involved with the merchandise and the web shops. I do a lot with the bookings. You know, I do most of the bookings for Blaze and Absolva. And so our father, he's actually Blaze's official manager, and has been for about 12 years or something.
Yeah. So that's who I met at KK's.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then back in the day when very, very early days of our previous band, Fury UK, when we were trying to get on festivals and whatever, one of the main things that we always got hit back with was, oh, well, we can't put you on at this festival. You're not signed. And we're like, oh, well, and we couldn't really get a record label. You know, they weren't interested in us. We'd never been abroad. We'd never, you know, had a hit single. So we just thought, oh, well, I'll tell you what, you know, we'll make our own record label. So between me and my dad, Mark, we decided, right, we're going to start Rock Sector Records and we'll release our own albums. But they still wouldn't book us on the festivals anyway, even when we had a record label. But that's when we also, you know, our mother, who's also involved with the industry, she runs SOS Festival. So then we said, oh, I'll tell you what, because nobody will book us on any festivals, we'll make our own festival. So we made SOS Festival Manchester, that's been going for nearly 20 years now as well.
Yeah.
So
and that's your mother behind that.
Yeah. So like I said, we're all involved somehow in various parts of the industry. So it's you can't get away from us very easily. And we kind of got nicknamed the Manchester Music Mafia for a little bit. You know, how true that is, we don't know.
I like that. Because when you started, you wasn't actually in the band Fury straight away, were you?
Me, Luke. Yeah. No, I wasn't at first. I was a little bit too young, and because I was there's obviously 6 years difference between us. Chris started music a lot earlier than I did. He had already created Fury UK. It was, and then back when I was 14 years old, the previous bass player left. And I had about a week's notice, and the first show that we did was Bloodstock Open Air. And then straight into a big UK tour. And then that led on to us supporting Blaze Bayley all around the UK, Saxon, Y&T, and then Iced Earth, Michael Schenker. We just ended up supporting everybody around the UK and then stemming out into Europe and starting to play some really big festivals. So I just kind of came in when the opportunity was there and the time was right.
Well, you've just totally destroyed my questions about the people who you've been touring with, so I might as well just get rid of that sheet.
Yeah, we do like a bit of a bulldozer effect sometimes.
So you were a sweet and innocent 14-year-old when you got on the stage at Bloodstock. Are you like Luke Littner, the dart player? You look 28, but you're really 14, or did you look like a 14-year-old?
No, I definitely could pass for more like 20 at that time. And we were going into like pubs and clubs that were like strict over 18s only, but I was rocking up there when I was 14. And there was a time there where we just kept on, okay, yeah, he's actually 18. Then when I was 15, I was 19, 16, and, it just kept on going, really.
Yeah. And now you're 21.
Now I'm 21, so I can finally, branch out and say all these things.
You now can say your true age.
Yeah.
So you basically broke up the band because you joined Iced Earth and the band sort of stopped.
Fury UK did, yeah. Chris at the time felt like he didn't really want to carry on with that name without me. And then that was the birth of Absolva, and he wanted to rebrand. I'm saying this like you're not here, but he wanted to rebrand, change the sound a little bit, introduce another guitar player because Fury UK were a three-piece, and where Absolver, he wanted more of the Iron Maiden, Thin Lizzy, twin guitar attack sound, really. Which, you know, from my opinion, I think that was a good idea because I much prefer the music that Absolver produce now over Fury UK. But we were just evolving, and Absolver was the birth of that evolution, really.
Oh, that's the thing I've got to apologise to you both over is Absolver. I'd never discovered you until I knew I were interviewing you and I'm researching you and I'm like Absolver and I put it on and I've got to say it's bloody fantastic and I'm kicking myself. Why the hell have I not listened to you?
We get that a lot. You know, and we don't take offense by it, but we you know, and we do wonder sometimes, you know, what are we doing wrong? But you know, one of our most common things when we're hanging around at the merchandise, you know, after a show or something, or we're at a festival, is people come up to us and they might buy all the CDs and all the vinyls and a T-shirt, and then they go, "I'm really, really sorry. I've never heard of you before, but I'm definitely going to come back and see you now." And you know, we probably get that more in the UK than we do in Europe. You know, we do feel like we've always tapped into a European metal audience more than a UK metal audience. You know, all depends what, you know, flavor of the month is, you know, in the UK. And sometimes we feel like, oh, we're not the young hot shots anymore. You know, we're over 30 now. So, you know, it could be different, but we try not to think of it like that too much. You know, we've got a strong body of work, and you know, we just kind of keep our heads down and concentrate on doing good live shows and recording good music.
Yeah, well, that's one thing I'm listening to it, and there's definitely a Saxon influence. You can hear that running through, which I'm a massive Saxon fan. And as you can see, I'm also a big Iron Maiden fan as well. So, you know, it's right down my alley, and I've absolutely loved your album. One thing I've noticed, though, with this album, I've got it on my notes. Here I am again, because I can't remember anything. You've got guests on your album, which you've not done before. So you've got Blaze Bayley singing on one of your songs. You've also got the Chilean singer Ronnie Romero from Lords of Black and Michael Schenker group. You've got the Canadian singer Stu Block from Ice Earth Annihilator, David Marcellis from Thorium. So you've got, and Lord Vulture, you've got like a guest artist song. But on all your other albums, you've not done that before. So why the change on this one?
He made me do it. Luke's had this idea for ages, and the only other album we've actually had some guests on was, I think, Anthems to the Dead, which was our second studio album, where I managed to persuade Luke to play a couple of songs. This was before he kind of rejoined again. Yeah. And Doug Scarrett from Saxon, you know, because it still had his telephone number from when we were touring for Fury UK. And he managed to not tell Biff and get on a train to Doncaster and come to the studio and play some solos on a couple of tracks for us. So that was the only other time. And then Luke, pretty much every album since then, has said, we should try and get some guests or guest vocalists, guest whatever. And I've always gone, oh, well, it's a lot of work. And then you've got and you never know how much it's going to cost. It could cost a fortune. And then, you know, all the timing, it's got to fit in everybody's time schedule, not just ours. So everybody's got to have the studio time. Sounds like a big project. But yeah, and then Luke kind of said, oh, yeah, I can get Stu. And I said, well, I'm sure we can get Blaze for a good price. And then we're on tour with Ronnie, and he'd agreed to do it because he owed us a couple of favours for helping organise his UK tour. And then David, we've known for a long time from Lord Vulture. He's a fantastic singer. And So we got these 4 guys, and then we kind of pieced it together with which songs we wanted them to kind of focus on. But then Luke really was the main person to coordinate it, weren't you?
Yeah, in a little way. When you more coordinating with the people themselves and being like, okay, we want you for this song, we want you to do this verse or whatever. And then Chris, because Chris engineers and produces the albums, Absolver albums, he then kind of orchestrates it when he gets all the files, because it's all done remotely as well. None of the singers were in the UK with us recording in the studio, apart from Blaze, of course, because he's only a couple hours away. But everybody else, like you say, is living abroad, really. So, it really paid off, though. I'm really glad we finally got round to doing it. And I'm probably going to try and convince Chris to do it again with other people.
Well, Paul Quinn, the Saxon guitarist, and Graham Oliver are not that far from you either. They're both like Rotherham Barnsley way. I'm sure we can send them your way.
And we know Graham and Paul. We did. Can I tell this story?
I think you can.
Because we only did a gig with him a few months ago, and we'd seen Graham like within a couple of years recently. But we'd not seen Paul for many years since he was still in Saxon, and it was probably the Sacrifice tour or something. But then Paul was playing with Graham at this festival in Belgium, and it was Absolver and then Graham Oliver's Army. And then so Martin's getting all his drums set up outside this festival, ready to get on. And then this van rocks up when Graham and Paul and the rest of the lads from Graham Oliver's Army storm out. But then everybody disappears apart from Paul. And then Paul's just kind of wandering around and recognizes our drummer for the right or wrong reasons. And then just goes to Martin and just goes, "Excuse me, do you know where the spaghetti is?" And obviously it was after the catering, because the only food that they were serving all the artists at this festival in Belgium was spaghetti. And then Marty's like, "Come on, Paul." I says, I'll show you where the spaghetti hall is, mate. Come on, let's go get some spaghetti. So this, when some people say, "Oh, isn't Spinal Tap a really funny movie?" It's to me, it's just normal life. It's any band that tries to convince you that kind of humor doesn't happen every single day somehow is lying to you, because that is everybody's life every single day. Something will happen.
I was talking to interviewing the drummer from Sellsword, and they said they had some treasure légers on stage, and they were only small ones, but they were supposed to fire, and they were firing in wrong directions, and it were all a calamity. And it just made me think Spinal Tap with Stonehenge.
Yeah, it happens. I remember once we did a gig with Absolve. I think it might have been France, and right, guys, we've got a backdrop. Don't worry, Chris, we'll take care of the backdrop. Don't you worry, we'll pin it up. You leave it to us. He says, "Are you sure?" He says, "Yeah." And then we do all the sound check and everything. And then the intro's coming on. And then it was like a remote control barrier to bring the backdrop up. They pinned it up upside down. I'm like, "It's the wrong way, chaps." So, yeah, anything.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, really good. Talking of festivals, you've done quite a lot of them. I've got a nice list of Planet Rockstock, 5 Volt, Hammerfest, Winter Storm. In Germany, you did the Headbangers Open Air, the Rock Coast in Spain, Metal Magic Denmark, Dark River in Finland. My favourite name of any festival is the Rock Petrol Festival in Belgium.
That's where the spaghetti incident happened.
That's where the spaghetti is. And you also did Stone Dead in 2021. I've only just discovered the Stone Dead Festival. Last year was my first, and it's a fabulous festival. So you've done quite a lot. Have you got any festivals already booked for next year?
Yes. Have we? What we're kind of mainly doing, because it's been quite a hectic year this year, and it's already turning into quite a hectic year next year for Blaze. We're probably what we're going to do for 26 is Absolva's really going to focus on. We're going to do a new live album and probably a new studio album. And then 2027, we're actually celebrating our 15-year anniversary. So I've already got at least 15 festivals booked for 2027 from, well, all over Europe and the UK. So Absolva's going to have a big year in 2027. So we're going to push these new 2 releases. We're definitely going to tour next year, but it's just not going to be as intense as it was this year, and really focus on the albums. And then it's going to be an absolute monumental Absolva, first class year for 27. That's kind of the rough plan. But I've said this before, and then I get to March, and suddenly we've got 150 gigs in the diary. So anything can still happen.
Yeah, because you're playing on with Blaze Bayley and obviously Absolva, so you've got a finger in a few pots going on there, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, there's been previous years where we'd actually get up and do a set with Absolva, have a 20-minute break, and then get up and do a set with Blaze, and we were kind of our own support band kind of thing.
Yeah.
But in the end, the amount of shows we were doing, and then Blaze wanted to start playing longer sets. We were working it out, like Martin, the drummer especially, he was playing 3 hours plus every night.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's not like tip-tapping through Bruce Springsteen songs. There's a lot of intense things going on. So no offense to Bruce Springsteen, I'd play 3.5 hours with Bruce, no problem.
I bet you would.
But it's very intense on the physical element with your legs and your arms, your muscles, and your recovery time. So we decided to split it up again. So, and there was always some people, some big Absolva fans, like, I'm not happy with 30 minutes or 40 minutes of Absolva. I want to see 90 minutes, 2 hours Absolva. So it's better, we've done what we needed to do as we came out of COVID, pairing them all up. So, but yeah, it's always busy because we like a hectic live schedule every year. So we kind of feel a bit empty when we don't have that. But making sure that we facilitate both projects is sometimes difficult, but we make it work.
Yeah. So you're not you've got quite an age difference. So I worked with 2 brothers, Luke and Liam, and both from twins. And when they argue, it's like you just get out their way because they proper argue, picking up things. And yeah. Are you 2 like that then when you have creative disagreements?
I'd like to say not anymore. No, there was a time when it was a bit more fiery, but I think our sights have aligned in recent years.
Yeah. There's probably only one or 2 times ever where blood was spilt. But in general, it's like me and Luke have definitely got all the same goals and the same standards that we want everybody else to kind of be on the same page with. So the understanding is certainly there. But that's still saying that we have, we're incredibly different in many ways, but alike in so many others. So it is an interesting thing. You don't think of the Osmonds,
or definitely not the Gallaghers either.
Oh, good. I'm anything but an Oasis fan. Very far removed from being an Oasis fan. I didn't want to bring that name up, but there you go.
No.
Oh, I thought we were
You're
talking about
talking.
Rory Gallagher anyway. You know,
Oh,
what are you on
Rory
about?
Gallagher. Now
Yeah.
you are talking my language. He was absolutely supreme. But you're talking about Spinal Tap moments. The sun was shining across my very large forehead. So my partner's literally just crawled in front of me, and I'm like, "What's she doing under the table? It's a bit random." And then she crawled across, shut the curtain, and crawled back again. And I'm like trying to keep a straight face.
I was
Brilliant.
really
Fabulous.
wondering where that was going then.
Well, so were I halfway through.
That was more of a police academy moment, isn't it?
So you're still on tour. 12th of December, Nuneaton and the Queen's Hall. 13th December, the Croft in Bristol. 14th of December, Carton Horses. I didn't actually put down the location of Carton Horses because I'm an idiot. And 20th of December, you're in Manchester. Where are you in Manchester?
Club Academy, Manchester Academy.
Right, okay. So you've still got a few dates. Have you done now with Blaze, or are you still touring with Blaze?
Last one with Blaze was
Last weekend
last
in Marseille,
weekend.
France. So yeah, Blaze is done for the year now. Well,
Yeah.
Christmas has
And you've
come
got
early for him.
I've got you down in May as well for the Spirit of 66 Belgium. Is that a festival?
That's a venue that's in the French part of Belgium, and
Okay.
we're doing a short run of European shows in Spirit 66 in Verviers, Belgium. We've got LP Dainzer in Belgium. I think that we've got a couple in Germany that haven't been announced yet as well.
Yeah.
One in the Netherlands at Den Haag. So yeah, we'll be doing a chunk of European shows.
Yeah.
There's more to come. There's more to come. It's all, I'm in the middle of November, and this is kind of my key point to try and get everything announced for next year before I clock off for Christmas.
Yeah. But it's hard announcing festivals because you've got to wait for them to do it, really. Venues are a lot easier. You can say, I'm doing this, but on a festival, you've got to wait for them to do the lineup.
Yeah, they like being awkward, really awkward compared to the rest of them. It's like, come on, announce it. Come on, what are you waiting for? Sell some
Yeah.
tickets.
You've known Blaze now for a long time, haven't you? Because you supported him right at the beginning of your career with Fury. So you've known him for quite a long time.
Yeah, his Blood and Belief band had just kind of disintegrated, and then he just put together this band, probably about 18 months before he did the Man Who Would Not Die album. So I'd say we supported him 2007 or something like that. That was my first meeting with him. And it was just after the old Bradford Rios had closed, and then the organization set up a new Rios in Leeds. It was part of a shopping centre, and it was just called Leeds Rios. But we knew the guy that was promoting Blaze for those shows from Manchester Gillies Rock World. And so he put us on as the support for Blaze, and it was one of his first gigs with this new lineup. And then we did the Manchester gig with him, which was really happy with us because we sold like 30 or 40 tickets for him. And then we did another one in Stoke. And these were all kind of like, we were one of 3 support bands, before Blaze would go on. But at the end of that one in Stoke, we got an email and off Blaze saying, we'd like to take you out as the tour support with us on our next big UK tour. And it was 30 dates. So it was like the first time we'd ever gone on a proper tour. And so we got to see all the wonderful venues and some toilets of the United Kingdom on that tour. We really kind of cut our teeth on, we'd never done 4 gigs or 5 gigs on the bounce before. The most we'd ever done was 2 at that point. Yeah. So it was a good opportunity for us, and we kind of had a relationship with Blaze from then. Really, we just kept in touch throughout the years. When we did our tour with Saxon Blaze was there because he was playing
with
as the tour support with Wolfsbane. So it was Fury UK, Wolfsbane, Saxon. So we've always kind of been around each other really. So can't get rid of him.
You also did co-producing with him on War Within Me in 2021. How did that go?
Yeah, good. We nearly killed each other, but you know we co-produced like the previous 3 albums. You know, the Infinite Entanglement trilogy, but we had a different engineer. And once we finished the trilogy and we were working on War Within Me, we said to each other, we need to kind of have 100% of control for the next album. And we spent loads of weeks together on that album because, of course, when we were writing and recording it, it was 2020. So it was, it's 2 weeks isolation rule, for COVID. So we just said, all right, well, I'll go round to Blaze's house and I'll stay there for 2 weeks and we'll record this album. And then, all right, I'll go home for 2 weeks. And then I went back to Blaze's for 2 weeks. So we just kind of locked it in. And we both did a COVID test before and after, and that was it. So it was quite intense, but it was really good fun doing that album. And I still think that War Within Me, some of the best songs that me and Blaze have written together. I think, it was an awkward time, but I think because of that, we were very creative. So it was good. But co-producing with Blaze is easy, really. He's quite intense when it comes to the mixing period. But as long as you can kind of share the vision on what the end result's meant to be, it's good. So we do love a good argument.
Well, I've met Blaze a few times now, and I've interviewed him like I'm interviewing you, and he's come across as an absolute lovely bloke, and I still can't get over the fact that this Iron Maiden singer, when I see him, hello Dale, it's like
yeah. You should see him in Greggs.
So are you two going to be writing a book then about Wetherspoons throughout the UK? Because I'm assuming when you go on tours, you're going to hit the spoons.
Well, we always have vegetables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably be more like a tour guide of all the spoons and the Greggs up and down the country. But we could also do that in Europe because we spend most of our time in Europe with all the service stations that we actually visit and independent schnitzel houses and everything like that. So
yeah, where you can go to the toilet without paying €1 for it. That we could certainly do a long manual about that.
Yeah.
There you go. I've given you a seed of an idea for your next project.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll put you in the credits, Dale.
Yeah.
No problem.
Specifically for the fan club, is it?
Thank you. So I'd love to talk to you all day, but unfortunately I can't. So I have got one last question before we disappear. My partner Tracy gets me to ask the same question to everybody, and it's tell me something about yourself that nobody else knows. But seeing as there's 2 of you, Luke has got to tell me about Chris, and Chris obviously about Luke that nobody knows.
I've got a couple of good ones that immediately spring to mind.
Well, how harsh are you thinking?
It's about things that you don't like to eat.
All right. Well, I think everybody knows that. I was gonna comment on your rubber toilet brush. And I thought, what's this in the toilet?
You've got one of them.
It's great. It sticks to the wall and everything. You just
Brilliant. My lass is like, what the hell have you bought? He's great.
All right, what are you going to say about me?
Well, like a few people know about it, but Chris isn't very fond of eggs. but he's most recently started eating scrambled eggs, haven't you? But for as long as well, for the whole of my life I've known him. But
Thanks for that nugget.
yeah, he was there. He was there at the beginning. Did you know? Mother was there and all. But yeah, throughout all our childhood and most of our touring years, he's never been fond of eggs. And we went to this restaurant once, and I think we were in Czech Republic or something like that. And it's sometimes when we get served and the venue provides the meal, they take you to a restaurant, and sometimes it's just like a set thing what everybody gets. Whether you're a meat eater or a vegetarian, that may differ. But then most of these people don't speak any English when you go to these restaurants as well. So we were in Czech Republic somewhere, and then we all sit down and we're absolutely starving. And then all of a sudden, a waiter brings out this like broth, and it looks like quite meaty broth. And he grabs his spoon and then just takes a big old frigging scoop, and then out comes this whole boiled egg just from this broth, and he just froze there. And then, of course, the rest of us know exactly what's going on and just couldn't contain ourselves. And he's like, "Well, this is just a disaster, isn't it?"
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, that was brilliant. So I'll probably be begging for a press pass, for the 20th of December in Manchester, so I can come and take your photos. And
Yeah,
while
sure.
you're at it, contact number for Biff, because I've always wanted to interview him.
See what we could do. See what we could do.
Yeah, put a word in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my childhood heroes. But I'm so glad I've got a chance to talk to you. I can't believe I forgot that. When I was researching you, Fury UK, the other Fury keeps on coming up, which has got your other guitarist involved, hasn't it? Tom Atkinson.
It's a very colourful history.
Yeah. But yeah. Nah, Aki's not involved with that band anymore now, Fury, but he's come fully into the fold now with Absolva, and slowly coming fully into the fold now with Blaze Bayley as well. So
yeah.
But he was the original Absolva guitarist. Just to complicate things even more. So he was never a part of our Fury UK. But he was the original guitarist of Absolva. He was on the first album and the first live album. And then he went to do various other projects. But now he's come back. So he just kind of turns around to everybody now. He was always with Absolva. He's just had 12 years off. Yeah.
Well, just in case you two have a proper fallout, with arguments and differences of opinions and stuff, that Becky Baldwin's a very good bassist, I hear.
Yeah, it's Luke's ex-girlfriend, actually.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Tender topic, I'm afraid.
We'll leave that there.
Put that one there.
You know, when I said it was a colourful history.
Well, this interview's been a lot funnier than I actually expected. A little bit awkward at the end, but we'll leave that there.
Just there you go.
Yeah. It's been a genuine pleasure speaking to you both, and I'm going to have a Wetherspoons meal with you because I think it'll be absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. Manchester, 20th of December. There you go.
20th of December. I'll send a message to your dad.
Yeah, sorted.
Nice one, Dale. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks for your time, and see you soon.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Bye.